Alrighty, so this is Justice Revolution, okay? And this one for him is titled How Do You Know a Law is Valid, right? Because there's a process that they must go through. But how are they violating our rights and how can you figure it out, right? So this was basically a step by step of him showing you how you have to jump around all these loops that's supposed to be clearly established. You're not supposed to be able to jump these loop to loop to loop. And that's the reason why really a lot of people have a hard time about laws because you got to pull it out from one side to another side to this side to that side because they put all these things in hidden orders, okay, where it's complicated for just ordinary people like us and even for attorneys. If they really go in there and fight the law, it's all hidden. So they got to jump through all these loops as well. But let's see what he has to say. Again, I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving legal advice. Okay, whatever I say or do is not misconstrued to be legal advice. It's just a learning video, and whatever I say just may be my opinion. Okay, but I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet because my last couple of videos have been pretty long. Let's proceed forward.
True and authentic law of the state. All right. So let me close out of this. Now we know what an enacting clause is. So let's go back and let's read. Let me go back to my screen again. Let's go back and let's read one of the laws here in Utah. Okay. And before I do that, I want to point out two things. When I was searching my state constitution, this is Article 6, right? Yes, no, 6. I'm an idiot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Article 6. Roman numerals, me no so smart. Article 6, okay, and then down here, there's a few different things. Section 22 says, and the thing I want to touch on is right here where it says bill to contain only one subject. Okay. It says no bill shall be passed containing more than one subject, which shall be clearly expressed in its title. All right, we got that. The second thing I wanted to point out is this one right here. The presiding officer of each house. So this would be the presiding officer of the House, which would be the Speaker of the House, and the presiding officer of the Senate, which would be the President of the Senate, not later than 5 days following adjournment, shall sign all bills and joint resolutions passed by the legislature, certifying to their accuracy and authenticity as enacted by the legislature. Okay? Pretty straightforward? Yes? You guys still there?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
My little dog keeps barking, so I'm muting.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're pretty clear on what that says. So let's go back to where I was going to go. Dang it, where was I going to go? How are we going to know if the law is really a valid law? So let's go back to one of these codes. I'll go right here. Let's just go down to one of our criminal codes, Title 76. All right, so let's look at the one that Heather was charged with, which is this one right here. Assault penalties. Okay, you guys remember what I just read?
Yes.
No bill shall be passed with more than one subject, which subject shall be expressly expressed in the title, correct?
Right.
Does that look like one subject to you?
No.
Okay. Secondly, where is...
So in short, right there, right? They just violated that state constitution, the legislature, right? This is how they're doing it to us, people. It's supposed to be one law, direct, and they're not allowed to put all these characters in there Why? So they don't go overboard of violating our rights.
Enacting clause. You guys see an enacting clause anywhere?
No.
Okay, let me go back to, because I found this here. Under Title 36, which is our legislature, and I found it here, talks about Chapter 3. This is what Utah states: enacting clause and enrolling of bills. The enacting clause of every law passed shall be it enacted by the legislature of the lowercase state of Utah. It also talks about here that if there was any law that was passed by the vote of the people, shall say be it enacted by the people of the state of Utah. Okay?
So explain the lowercase, James.
Again, the whole purpose of, and I don't want to get off into the weeds, but
Yeah, I know, but just quick.
the state of Utah, capitalized, is a corporation.
Okay.
Okay? Lowercase state of Utah denotes geographical area.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify
That's all.
that.
Okay? So that's what it states here in Section 301 of Part 3 of the legislation. There's also this one here, enrolling of bills. It says, all bills ordered and enrolled by the legislature shall be delivered to the Office of Legislative Research and General Counsel, who shall, without delay, enroll the bills and return them to the Secretary of the Senate or Chief Clerk of the House of Representatives. All right, so remember that, the Office of Legislative Research and General Counsel. Okay, so now we know what the enacting clause is, at least here in Utah. We were just looking at the criminal code that penalizes assault. Did you guys see this phrase there anywhere? Be it enacted by the legislature of the state of Utah?
No.
Okay, so on the face of the law, it's missing. Now here's what's interesting. You guys notice that right here in the bottom that this little number is hyperlinked?
Mm-hmm.
So if I click on this, it sends me to the enrolled bill that was passed. Okay? Here's what's interesting. Over here, you're going to see a few things. It says the bill sponsor, the floor sponsor, and then it has drafting attorney, Robert H. Reese. So who wrote this?
Robert
An
Reese.
attorney, not a congressman.
An attorney wrote this. Did we elect this attorney guy?
No.
Does he have any lawmaking or legislative authority whatsoever?
No.
Okay. Here's another thing that's interesting. Look at this. What do you see right here on line 27?
I'm going to pause it there for a second. Sit and think about that, people. You're voting in a legislature that's not doing their job. They're having attorneys do the job for them that were not voted in. Okay? Enhances the reason why we are losing some of our rights. Okay? And I don't even know what to tell you guys about that, right? It's just a simple fact. Due to that one particular law, it's null and void because it did not go through, let's just, for argument's sake, through the due process of being a law.
Be enacted by the legislature of the state of Utah.
Okay, but then you come down to here. Do you see that in here anywhere? Under the title, Legislative Sessions and Legislation, where is, be it enacted by the state of Utah, or by the legislature of the state of Utah, where is that clause? And I'm talking from right here, where it says Chapter 3, Legislative Session and below. Do you see that anywhere?
Yes,
here
I
other
do.
than-
I see it. It's part 3, number 39.
It's talking about the enacting clause of what it actually is. Okay?
Right. That's just defining it. That's the
Okay.
only. But as far as it being in front of an actual law, no.
Okay, hold that thought.
See, that's where I get confused.
And that's where most of us get confused, by the way. But then think about that. Just that point right there. The trickery of words and how they're just creating all this circle, right? Third party interlopers that has zero authority. Just saying, people. Can't make this up.
Hold that thought.
You just asked if I saw it. I was right.
Yeah. Okay. Hold,
Yeah, you
hold
did.
that.
You did see it. That's a good.
Hold that thought. Okay, here we are. We're back here on, this is Utah Title 76, the Criminal Code. This is the one that Heather was charged with. It's the assault and penalties. Okay. Do you see an enacting clause anywhere on here?
No.
Okay. Here's a hyperlink again. Let's click on this. Let's go down here. There's a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Are they saying it's implied by putting the hyperlink? You know, they imply a
Hold
lot.
that thought. Hold that thought. Okay. Okay. I'm coming down here. Where do you see the be it enacted of the legislature?
219.
Yeah.
Line 219 states that, right? Okay. But then under section 1, right down through here, section 101, application for definitions of title, offenses for which prosecution may be commenced at any time. Do you guys see that enacting clause under any of these titles or headings?
Well, you're
Are they
going so
hoping that?
fast.
Are they hoping that we think it just carries over into each of the sections?
It does not carry over. That's the point we're trying to make.
That's what I was saying.
That's what they're thinking, that maybe we'll be tricked by into thinking, right?
Well,
Right.
not only that, would any of you, would anyone think to click on this little hyperlink down here?
No.
Did you even know that was hyperlinked until I moved my
No.
mouse over it?
Yes, because it's blue.
Okay.
And there we go again. When he clicked on that, how much words was all through there? How many sections when he scrolled through? All that you have to go through. Right? Sit and think about this, people. This is the reason why most people really don't research the laws themselves, is because of crap like this they are doing to the people. Okay? I mean, you've seen him jump all over the place on this. And just normal men and women that's got a job and then come home and have to research all this, jumping up and down through all this web thing of him. He knows where everything's at, but when you don't know where these things are at, it already took him time and trouble researching all this. He had to go through all this before he even made this YouTube channel. He's just making it fairly quickly for us. But, I mean, so if you sit and think about it, I was right previous in some of my other videos, right? About 80% of the laws are not actually legit laws.
Now, let's go back. I want to go back to the Utah Constitution again, and I want to go back to the Legislative Department, and let's go back down here to Section 25. All acts shall be officially published, and no act shall take effect until 60 days. Okay, so everything that's passed by the legislature, must be officially published. Now, do you remember where here in Utah that is? Because I'm going really fast, and I apologize, but this is super important. I just want people to understand.
Yeah, it's a lot. No, I don't remember.
Okay, so let me go back to the page. It's this page right here. Office of Legislative Research and General Counsel. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
All right. So,
Your drafting board.
yeah. Hey, Erica, would you read just the first couple lines of the About Our Office?
The Office of Legislative Research and General Counsel is responsible for drafting and processing all legislation, performing policy research and analysis, providing legal counsel, and staffing legislative committees.
You caught them with their pants down,
What?
James.
What do your senators do? What do your What do your representatives do? These guys are doing all the work.
So you got that attorney mixed up, or he got
Yeah.
himself mixed up
Yeah.
in this mess, didn't he?
Let me go back over here to this page. Let me go back to where I was with that criminal. Okay, I'm gonna click on the hyperlink again. Who does it say wrote this law? Was it-
Rogers?
Was it
Attorney.
Senator Karen Maine and Representative Carrie Ann Lisenby?
No, it was drafting attorney Jackie Rogers.
Okay. Does Jackie Rogers have any lawmaking authority whatsoever?
Nope.
Did we, the people, elect Jackie Rogers to create and publish legislation?
No.
So why in the world is she writing laws that we're expected to follow?
And there's no authority saying beforehand that it's, the enacting clause.
I'm sure they've created some kind of a clause or a rider or something in there to try to have that, like as a ghostwriter, right?
Exactly.
That's going to be their defense. You have to find that, I suppose.
Well, okay, remember, going back to because the Utah Constitution, your state constitution reigns supreme for your state. So if it says it in here, it is, what did we read earlier? It is mandatory and prohibitory, right?
Mhm.
So going back here, I know I'm running really fast and I apologize, but going back in here under Article 6 of the Utah Constitution, Legislative Department, we talked about how all of the acts are supposed to be officially published. So that's the Office of Legislative Research that does that. We talked about Section 22. It says the bill is to contain only one subject. And the most important thing, I think, in my opinion, is Section 24. That the presiding officer of each house shall sign all bills. Okay? The Supreme Court has stated that the word shall is a mandatory. It's not have an option. No, you must do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, this says certifying to their accuracy and authenticity as enacted by the legislature. So, does it stand to reason that if all of the bills are supposed to be published, they're all supposed to be signed, and they're all supposed to have an enacting clause, that we should be able to access that information, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, let me take you to the next little rabbit hole I went down. Let me go back to right here. So, we're back here under the Office of Legislative Research and General Counsel. So, I had to dig to find this. And it should not be hard to find this at all. So I'm like, all right, well, the Constitution states that everything has to be published and that we, the people, are supposed to have access to it. So how do I find it? Well, I went up here under the Research and Legal, and then I'm like, oh, there's a tab here that says Publications. Let me click on that. Okay, this is what I came to. Search all publications. And then I got right here, the third line down under the Senate and House offices, it says Laws of Utah. And then there was one for 2022. I'm like, oh, okay. So that should be the most current version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that brought up this PDF. It says Laws of the State of Utah 2021 passed at the second special session of the 64th legislature, convened at the state capitol on November 9th, 2021, and adjourned November 10th. So it was just a one day. Okay. Then I see this document here from this poorly copied certificate from the lieutenant governor. And this just really cracks me up. Justice, do you want to read this section right here where it says this is to certify?
This is to certify the acts and resolutions published in this volume are, according to the best information, our best information and belief, full and correct copies of the originals passed at the 2021 second special session of the 64th legislature of the state of Utah, as they appear of record in the office of the lieutenant governor, and
this is the second special convened at this time. All right. What really cracks me up in this is according to our best information and belief. Does that give anybody a sense of relief?
No. No.
Does that, Erica? Does that give you a sense of relief that hey,
No,
what you're seeing here is what we believe it should be?
not even a little bit. No.
That's like the hearings in Congress on not to the best of my knowledge.
Exactly. Here's the other thing too, guys. Remember, you remember this provision right here: presiding officers to sign bills, right? Okay. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Here's the first bill. Oh, look, there's that enacting clause above the section and title. Okay.
And that's where it's supposed to be, right?
No,
Oh,
this right here, be it enacted, is supposed to be under every single one of these provisions. So where it says 53B-1-102, line number 1 should say, be it enacted by the legislature of the state of Utah. And then everything here. And then when you go down to the next one, 53B-2-101, institutions of higher education, line number 1 should state that. It doesn't.
Gotcha.
My point is they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
So they're implying it, but it's not legal. Okay.
It's an implied law. Correct. Okay. But this is all one act here. And this is what, don't get me started about this one, Utah Tech University, where they took out Dixie State.
Yep. My son
Okay.
got a scholarship to there and then
Yep.
changed his mind.
Okay. I'm gonna go pretty quick here because I want to get to the bottom of this bill. Okay. Let me get going. It's right here. Okay.
It was
This bill takes
offensive.
effect July 1st, 2022.
Yep.
Do you guys see anything else here?
Are you looking for that clause, be it enacted?
No, I'm looking for this right here.
Oh, that's not signed.
Whoops, wrong one.
Okay.
Where are the signatures?
Right.
Okay. Here's the thing too. Now remember, let me scroll back up here a little bit. I apologize, I'm going fast again.
So now, this is the official document, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can't say, well, this is just, easy reading for the people. We have another document with the signatures.
Do we not have the technology to be able to scan original documents and put them in a
Well,
PDF
I'm just
format?
playing devil's advocate, if you will.
I get you. I get exactly what you're saying, but that's my question is, do we live in an age and time where the technology is not available to us, where we, the people, can see the original legislation?
And this section is specifically labeled publications.
Well, James, clearly they don't want us to see the originals of anything, as we're finding out.
Exactly. So I go here under everything of publications. I can't find anything. Now, one thing where I scratch my head is it says here, as they appear of record in the office of the lieutenant governor. All right, so you should be able to access this. Now, this is the problem that they don't make this. You guys, they don't make this easily accessible.
Right. And they weave things in and out too. Like when I was looking at the USC, like the United States Code,
Mm-hmm.
that chart that I sent you that has it's like a dot system of what actual positive laws are in there, what non-positive laws are in there, how it's like, well, part of this section is actual law and the rest of it's just like made up corporate law that doesn't really apply to everyone, and then this one's been repealed, but they put it all together so that if you're just reading straight through it, you take it, if you just take what you're reading for what it says without knowing all the history of how it all came together and who it's actually for, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's intentionally.
It makes you sit here and you scratch your head. You're going, well, how do I know? Just because it's published on the state's website, that doesn't tell me, the average man of average intelligence, as my wife would say. That doesn't tell me that this is a legit law. Because we just found the evidence that the law was not even written by members that we elected. So,
well, they certified it to the best of their beliefs.
So that's the publication. But what I'm saying is, you remember when we go back to when we go back to where the law is archived, where we can actually see it. So right here, so we're according to our best information and belief. All right, well that's fine. But then whoops, not that one. I guess it is this one. But then when I go back over here to looking at one of the laws, let's go back to that assault law again, right? This is a criminal offense that someone we all know is being charged with. It says here that it was written by Jackie Rogers. Who the crap is that? You mean to tell me?
All right, so this video's been long enough, but it's the basics. This is a legislature law that's been passed, but people, this is what they've been doing to us, and attorneys are being given authority that they absolutely have zero authority of. I called my representative one time and asked them if they've signed the 4 USC 101 oath of office, and they say, well, their attorney says they didn't have to. Well, wait a minute. Why didn't you just look up that law? You have to sign it. Well, attorney says they don't have to. What, my legislature don't know how to look up law? And he's supposed to be the law guy? So, really, we got people in there just for decoration. And you got people coming in wanting this bill passed and this bill passed. They'll send it to the attorney. Attorneys write it all out. And it's all under the color of darkness, right? Trickery of words. And this is the reason why most people don't really research law. Because it's crap like this, right? Look how many times he had to jump around just to get the basic idea of what they are doing. And this took him a lot longer to do it than he shows here. He just had the basic knowledge of what he's going to be doing today to make it quick for us. But you turn around and you decide to reach this, it's going to take a lot longer. This is the crap they're pulling on we the people. We're thinking it's legit laws when it's not legit laws. It's never been passed by the legislatures or the Senate and all that. It's been passed by bar members that we didn't vote in. Wink, wink. All right, this will be the People News. Till next time, bye y'all.